Let's get ready to rumble!
Terence Crawford takes on Yukurius Gamboa in Omaha, Nebraska, Terence Crawford's hometown. Gamboa says this will be a counter versus counter puncher match. The objective is to get him to the middle range where I can use my speed. The game plan is to attack from the start, implement defense, and develop the fight from there. Gamboa says he has nothing to lose at this point. We fight whenever, wherever. We will have a great fight. I will give you the best of me every time I fight. We will win. Gamboa also says he's not worried about inactivity. He says his concept of inactivity is when you are not training at all. And he says he's always in training. So that's that. He also says his versatility and his background from the Cuban amateur boxing system has perfected his strategy to fight any type of fighter. He says he's very comfortable at lightweight. Working with Floyd Mayweather Sr. has been very good for him. He's worked on defense, counterpunching. They've tried to eradicate his habit of dropping his hands. He says about working with 50 Cent, it's been 2 years up to this point and it has been a great opportunity. I am aware that other promoters have not made it easy for 50 to complete his 2-bout agreement. His 2-bout agreement. 50 Cent's only going for 2 bouts. Wow, okay. It's hard to see Gamboa winning, but his explosiveness, his ambush fighting techniques. I like Gamboa. Can he pull it off? It's a hard ask. He says inactivity isn't a problem, but we have to factor that in. How much will the aging process, he's getting older, going up a higher weight, how much is that going to affect his speed? His speed is going to be vital as one of his components in how he's going to get past Terence Crawford. I think it would be a tougher fight than what a lot of people are saying now. Ex-professional footballer, now British champion Curtis Woodhouse will attempt to add the Commonwealth light welterweight title to the British light welterweight title that he won from Darren Hamilton in a shock when he challenges Willie Limond at the Braehead Arena in Scotland. Woodhouse said he will quit regardless of the result when he challenged Darren Hamilton for the light welterweight title. I knew if he won the fight, there was no way he was going to retire. There was just no way. Should be a good fight. Should be a very good fight. I think Willie Limond's experience is going to be very difficult for Curtis to get past. Home territory could play a part into it in terms of that, favouring Willie Limond. Steven Simmons, he fights Wadi Camacho on the bill for the WBC International Silver Belt at Cruiserweight, I believe. Very interesting fight. They have a rivalry that's been going on for a few months. The fight was postponed, I think, on the Terence Crawford bill, where he defeated Ricky Burns. It was scheduled to take place then. Steven Simmons got injured very late in the day and the fight was postponed. The background history is they don't like each other. It looked like they was nearly coming to blows at the press conference at the time. And apparently Wadi Camacho got pictures of Steven Simmons' girlfriend and photoshopped him to look very lewd and explicit. I don't know what he did, but Steven Simmons was mad. Wadi can punch a bit. He's been a bit inconsistent. Steven Simmons has the WBC International Silver Belt. I believe he's undefeated right now. It threatens to be a very explosive encounter. That's all I can say for now. I find it a bit funny. I look at boxing a lot different to a lot of people. I'm realizing that the more time I spend in the community, the YTBC. You know, I find it puzzling how people take credit away from Miguel Cotto for doing what he did. Martinez was old, his knees were banged up. But here's the thing, man. Like, boxing is not a perfect science. If you're too inexperienced, it can afflict you. If you're an aging fighter and your body is not wearing well, it can afflict you. If your confidence is low, it can afflict you. Either, whatever. He was good enough that he could hold a lineal belt into a relatively late age for a world-class fighter. He was good enough to do that. That alone should qualify Cotto's victory alone. That he became a 4-weight champion. But, you know, it's a very cynical society anyway. It's very cynical. And I can understand the cynicism when a lot of whack things, politicians and clergymen, they do pure garbage and whack. They don't do nothing to enlighten no one. Nowhere. I can understand people taking a cynical eye to that bullshit. But, you know, guys like Cotto to me are an inspiration. And, like, you know, D-Star was alluding to it. You know, if you're just going to keep shitting on our superstars of this era, then, you know, it just makes for a horrible experience. For you, not for me, because I don't take it in. I listen and I'll make my critique, just so I can keep the glass half full for the younger ones listening. Martinez bowed out gracefully. It was a good fight. Well, it was a good performance. It wasn't a good fight. Because for a good fight, both men has to participate. Martinez wasn't in it. It was a great performance by Cotto. Great performance. Great achievement as well, being a lineal middleweight champion. There's no perfect time to beat anyone. You fight somebody in the timeline that is allocated to you for whatever reason, and the result is the result. Simple. Unless you've got a video dated officially where you say you foresaw the total domination that transpired on Saturday. Stop over-analyzing boxing. Because you hindsighters, this is your logic. If Cotto, after he lost to Margarito, if he had lost to Michael Jennings, who was his confidence booster fight after the Margarito fight, what would you guys have been saying? You would have been saying, well, if it wasn't for Margarito cheating and beating up Cotto, Jennings would have never won the fight. You'd be saying Jennings could never have beat a prime Cotto. But now we're redefining Cotto's prime all the time, you know? What can be assumed to be a peak or prime of a boxer can be overhauled in 1 minute in boxing and crushed abruptly. Like when Ali beat Sonny Liston. Liston was a heavily favoured just to crush Ali. And then after Ali beat him the first time around, oh yeah, well, Liston was around with the mob collecting debts. He wasn't training for the fight. All of that came out. That wouldn't have came out if he had crushed Ali like he was expected to do. Nobody foresaw what Miguel Cotto was going to do to Sergio Martinez. Riddle me this as well. If I was a boxer and I had a 50-fight unbeaten streak and all my opponents had to fight me at my peak, at my prime, at my absolute best every single time, would that be fair? No, it wouldn't be fair, would it? Because that's what life is all about. Sometimes you're going to come in when you're a little old in the tooth, a little green, a little naive, injured, confidence is low, certain things happen in your life. That's life, that's boxing. So let's try and draw a line under this. It was a great win. Simple as. The whole point of being a great is overcoming when you're not at your best. And Sergio didn't manage to do it. That doesn't detract from Cotto's victory. Whether Sergio was past it or not, bottom line, there you go. Let me break it down again. Yeah, let me break something down again. I don't care if Chad lost the whole of his body weight and had to put it back on. If that's the reason why his chin is weak, his chin is still weak. He's got a weak chin. You can reason many things why his chin is weak. His chin is weak. It could be a hereditary predisposition. He's got a weak chin. And that's that. Like people always talk about Roy Jones because he moved up and he moved down. Oh, that's what gave Roy a bad chin. You're just rationalizing something. That's what you're doing. Because you're saying he's got a weak chin. He got floored by Lou Duval when he was undefeated as a light heavyweight, way, way back. But he got up and won the fight. Chad Dawson got floored by Thomas Adamic. I see him get hurt by, was it Glenn Johnson? Was it Glenn Johnson? I see Glenn Johnson hurt him with a couple of shots. But you guys in hindsight are rationalizing why he's got a bad chin. He's just got a bad chin. Doesn't matter how it got there, it's bad. That's like, you know, your house is burning down or something like that. And then you're coming to tell me, well, I couldn't get to Wilkinson's to get no fire alarms. That's why the house is burning down. Your house is burning down. Bottom line, his chin's weak. And we will see if the rest, he's been out for a long while, since last year, way into last year, when Adonis Stevenson knocked him out. We're going to see if the rest enables him to get back on his feet. This fight he's taken in Carson, California against George Blades will not ultimately tell us much. The fight takes place on June the 21st on the Gary Russell Vasyl Lomachenko undercard. George Blades, I never heard of him, and I'm not supposed to have heard of him. It's supposed to just ease Chad back in, and we will see where he's at later on down the line. Devin Alexander, he takes on Jesus Soto Karass. Robert Guerrero returns against some Japanese fighter named Kamigai. I can't pronounce it too well. I've never heard of the guy. Looks to be a soft touch from where I'm standing. Maybe because I'm just saying I've never heard of him. But he was dismantled by Floyd last time out. So he obviously needs a confidence builder. He didn't feel confident enough in himself to take on Keith Thurman a little while back. So that's why we have this guy here in the opposite corner to him. There's a few names on that bill. Not a bad card. It's not a bad card. It will be televised by Box Nation in the UK and Showtime in the USA. Larry Ekundayo returns back to action on July the 2nd, and I won't be able to make no milk carton videos about him anymore. The forgotten man of the welterweight division, the natural, Larry Ekundayo, returns to the ring on July the 12th, appearing on the undercard of the sensational Azonto Time card at York Hall. I don't know what that is. Apparently, Larry has parted ways with Spencer Fearon and the Hard Knocks Promotions outlet. He's paired up with Ben Gray, the commercial manager from World Class Athletes, who's looking after his affairs now. And Harry Andrews is training Larry. Is intent to make a breakthrough in 2014. He takes on a tough Belgian named Samit Huyusinov before expecting to go on to bigger things in 2014 and 2015. Larry is on the undercard to the Commonwealth lightweight title fight between knockout artist Richard Comey from Ghana and former British champion Gary Buckland. And it's good to see Larry back. Frankie Gavin takes on Leonard Bundu for the European welterweight title on August the 1st. Interesting fight, very interesting. It takes place at Wolverhampton Civic Hall. Bundu, who resides in Lazio, Italy, has an unbeaten record of 32 fights, including 2 draws, and has claimed a whole load of belts: the Italian, IBF Mediterranean, European Union, and WBA Intercontinental. You know, he's got a mouthful there. He's made 5 successful defenses. The last time he defended was against Lee Purdy. Very tough scrap, and Bundu stopped him in the last round. And I'll be looking forward to that one when it comes about, definitely. Well, despite people saying that the pay-per-view numbers of his last fight against Marcos Maidana being a failure, Floyd Mayweather still tops the Forbes list as the highest paid athlete. Floyd made $105 million net revenue in the September 2013 to 2014 calendar year, and he also topped the list in 2012 with 85 million, ousting Tiger Woods, who had held the distinction from 2001 to 2011. Floyd's earnings follow 2 extremely successful fight promotions in the past year. His 2013 pay-per-view revenue breaking bout against Saul Alvarez, and his most recent fight against Marcos Maidana this past May. Tiger Woods is the only other athlete that has earned over $100 million within a 12-month period, a feat that Floyd achieved with no endorsements. While this marks Money May's second time topping the Forbes list, he was named the highest paid athlete by Sports Illustrated in 2012 and 2013, as well as the highest paid athlete by ESPN in 2012 and 2013. Floyd says, "I am humbled and extremely fortunate to be recognized by Forbes as the highest paid athlete once again. I'm doing something that no other athlete is doing, promoting myself and seeing my hard work pay off in the form of record-breaking numbers. It's all about hard work and dedication, which is so important and a key part of my financial success. I'm grateful to my family, team, fans, and being able to take care of my family is my number one priority, and the level of success that I have achieved allows me to give them the best. I look forward to stepping into the ring in September and doing what I do best.
Protect yourselves at all times.
I wonder if Demetrius Andrade has put any extra pressure on himself. Apparently he's going to be looking for a KO in the first defense of his WBO light middleweight title against Brian Rose. He comes from Blackpool in the UK. Brian Rose, not a big puncher. He's up against it. But you never know. You never know about Andrade. He goes in as a hot favorite. That's tomorrow, so look out for that one. Ruslan Provodnikov takes on Chris Algieri, and he's going to kick his ass. I don't know. I've never really seen Chris Algieri. He's a kickboxer. I mean, I've got this bias. I've got this, this is our house, this is boxing sort of thing. I'm an elitist snob. I don't want no kickboxer to come and say that he can beat up boxers who have always just been boxers. You know, I'm elitist like that, I admit that. That's on the same card as Demetrius Andrade. Daniel Gill, he takes on Triple G. Triple G's stiffest test to date, in my opinion. I don't know when that fight date is set, but it's on. I mean, and that's the direction that Triple G needs to head towards. There's no doubt about that. Brandon Rios versus Diego Chavez is going to be interesting because you guys have built Chavez up into this cult-type mythological welterweight when his best result was when he got knocked out by Keith Thurman. So I'm interested in what happens there. I'll tell you what, I know you guys have got Chavez as his iconic figure. He's going to have to go hard to beat Brandon Rios. I'm telling you that now. He's going to have to go hard. Now, you see, when you guys keep screaming out for Kovalev to be fighting Stevenson, his next opponent is Australia's Blake Caparello. Who are these guys? Where did they get him from? Who's Blake Caparello? Let me box wreck it and see if I find anything. Who are these people he's fighting? Who is this guy? Who is he?
You know, I've traveled all over the world, and people always ask me, who is it? Who's king of the athletes? Who is it?
His best win was against Alan Green, a unanimous decision win, late last year. Come on, man. You see, no. That's why this fight's not going to get made yet. He's not peeking on one's radar doing this. Let's keep it real.
But this bum is taking the easy matches, fighting other bums.